After seeing the size of Lake Vänern firsthand on my trip to Bromma, I began dreaming about paddling and camping on its gorgeous islands. That's when I found this, the Vänern 8, a challenge laid out in 2014 by a man named Björn Zethelius to paddle the lake in the formation of an 8, paddling over open water through both Lure and Djure archipelago. Only one person has ever successfully completed a full loop, and this got me really excited. With over 500 kilometers of paddling and some dangerous open water stretches of over 7 kilometers, I was unsure if this was really a good idea, but I set out in search for glory. Howdy folks, Eric here from North American Adventures. You joined me at the beginning of an incredible bucket list journey. I'm going to be paddling Vänern, which is Sweden's largest lake and the third largest lake in Europe. I imagine it will be over 600 kilometers total. Probably going to take me 3 weeks or so. And we're just coming out of Klarälven behind me there. It was about 1 kilometer from my put-in. And now we are seeing a lot more open water. We're in a bit of a bay here. And I'm going to be following the northern coast as much as possible, first around that island there. But in the distance, you can't even see the land at the end of this lake. It is like 100 miles across. So this will be an incredible journey. I've got plenty of food and supplies with me. Got a couple of mosquito bites already at the put-in, but I'm feeling good. Hoping the weather allows for a safe and efficient paddle today. We're heading north around that island there. There's a bit of a headwind, unfortunately, but the waves are not too bad at the moment. But it's certainly making it more difficult. I'm gonna pull up to this little seabird island here just to see if I can get away from the wind in a little cove for a little. Oh, there go the birds. They don't like me here. Hopefully I don't get pooped on. A brief respite. I've made it about 2.5 miles now. I'm going to be coming around this island and then following it a little bit more westward. Whew. This may be too much of an adventure for me on my own, but time will tell. I don't plan on giving up just yet. We've come around the backside of this island here, and I drank too much coffee this morning. Gotta have a quick potty break. This looks like a totally reasonable spot to pull in. The wind has died down a bit now as well, so quick stop. Lady in red. Gonna be my only companion for the next 3 weeks. You can see this island here. There's quite a bit of elevation to it. Most of the islands in Vänern are sort of like granite cliffs that have been shaped by the most previous ice age, about 10,000, 12,000 years ago. So there's not a lot of nice beaches, but obviously someone has been here before. And you could, in theory, set up a tent here, but I'm obviously going to continue on my way. It was nice to get a quick break. Another mosquito. I left that last island in the distance. Now I'm following along this edge here. Another island which has a ferry to it. You can see there's a lot of nice summer cottages, and there's actually some cows out at pasture here, which is super cool. I'm going to be following around to the right, and then I'll be heading more east as opposed to north. You can see the wind is not bad here, a little bit more protected. It's slow going still, but that's because I'm not in paddling form yet. I'm almost at the northern point of this island. You can see there are a couple cars lined up for the ferry there. There's the boat on the other side, on the mainland there. It is pretty small. I don't imagine it holds more than 6 cars or so. Same island here to my right, but I've turned the corner and you can see much further now. Here's the mainland to my left. I'm going to be following this north shore here as it juts in and out a lot, and there will be plenty of islands to stop at along the way. I'm going to be turning a little bit more north now, following this, and then it'll curl around this island that's ahead of me here. Whew. Passing by this island now. I'm really enjoying myself, getting into the flow of things, the rhythm. I'm gonna run into these reeds here, but should be fine. You can see it's only about 4 or 5 feet deep, I would say, but the average of Vänern is very deep. I said I was going to follow the coast more north, but I'm feeling pretty good about the conditions right now. It doesn't feel like it's going to get worse anytime soon, so I'm going to go straight across here. It's about 2 kilometers, and then we'll see where I'm at. I'm about halfway through. I just dunked my hat, got it nice and wet. It's hot today. You can see in the distance there, the clouds are a bit darker. I'm going to be heading mostly this direction today. And on my lightning track radar, I just got a notification that there is some lightning and a bit of a storm coming through, heading for me. But I should have plenty of time to keep making some good distance before I need to wait it out. I'm going to pass in between this smaller and this larger island here, and then sort of skirt a little bit closer to the coastline again. Okay, that's where I thought I was going to go through, but no. I should have definitely been using satellite maps. I've switched over to that now. I'm going to have to skirt around what I thought was the smaller part of the island. It will only add another kilometer or so, but then it'll be off back to the mainland. I've been following along this island here. It looks like I can cut through a little bit there. And then there's a bigger island beyond it. That's actually not the mainland you see there in the distance. But I will get to that and then I'll follow it a little bit southeast. And then there will be a turn. And then it looks like there's a badplats which is a bathing beach. So that'll be a nice place to pull up for lunch. It's probably another 6 to 8 kilometers there, but it looks like, based on the radar, I have about 2 hours until the rainstorm comes my way. So I'm hoping that works out real nicely for a lunch spot. I've made it just under 8 miles in about 2.5 hours. Makes me very optimistic for the future of this trip.
Looks like it might be a little shallow through here, but should be doable. Leaving that island behind. Now I'm going to be following along this island all the way to that furthest point right around there, where I will be turning north again, and then it won't be too much further to my beach spot. Okay, you can see this island is much bigger than the ones we've been following lately. It has two bays, one going in that way and then another one behind that way. I'm going to try and cut diagonally like this and then follow that way. And then that is my last left turn there before I'll be heading straight towards the beach. Pretty shallow here. A couple tiny islands here at my left turn. You can see a sign on these islands. That's a good sign. That usually means that it's some sort of nature preserve, so you're not supposed to go up on land. I believe this area is specifically for birds, mate. You can also see a lot of the islands here have this beautiful granite outcroppings, which keeps the heat of the sun really nicely. Now that I've turned the corner, it's only about a kilometer to that beach that I keep talking about. I'm not entirely convinced that this beach over here is worth it. I think I'm gonna pick out a spot on the rocks that I can pull up to and have my lunch there. Ooh. There was a bit of a rock right there, you can see. That's okay. Nice. Alright, this seems like a good enough spot. Got most of my gear out, my lunch supplies. chips, bread, mayo, salami, some cookies. Shit's fire. Alright, just packed up, ready to go again. It's been just over an hour. That was a lovely lunch and a lovely spot. So far, it doesn't look too bad in the direction I'm heading. Service is pretty choppy right now, so I can't actually pull up the radar, unfortunately, but we're gonna get going here. We are heading that way. You can see in the distance there behind me, it's coming down like crazy. I heard some thunder as I was leaving my last spot, but it passed, I would say, north of me where I was enjoying my lunch. So it looked to be smooth sailing in my direction. So I'm thankful for that. Oh, there's some geese. Anyhow, I'm just gonna peep the map real quick. It's quite shallow here, a few feet. I'm gonna be going up this way just a touch, and then I think through if I can, and then following along the side of this island still for a couple more kilometers. Coming through this channel here. It's quite shallow. I'm gonna follow the line of this island and aim for that open space there, or there maybe. Should be a couple clicks across. We came from way back over there. Back with you now. This, between these two islands, is the hole that I pointed out. The yellow in the background. Now we need to skirt a little bit around here and then follow this island, and then it will give us basically a straight line towards the next island, or maybe it's the mainland we're heading back to. So maybe like a kilometer here and then 2 kilometers across. Weather's holding up nicely. Feeling blessed. We go through because it's fun. Here we are at the tip of this island, and you can see it is quite a ways across. So I'm gonna head in this direction, and you can see there's a couple small islands that make it a bit shorter for safety. came from way back there, made it all the way across. Here we are, safe and sound. We're now going to be following the coast of this island until I get tired. You can see the sun is still relatively high in the sky. It's about 6:40 now. So I've been going for another hour 40 since my lunch. I'm definitely exhausted for the day, but I would really like to keep going for another hour or two if I could. And so maybe I shall. We came around the corner there. Now we're going to be following along here up to that point there. It should be about 2 kilometers there, and then we'll be turning a bit to the left. We've left the wilderness behind, and now there's summer cottages again. I just checked the radar because I figured I'd have service again since people live here, and this rain cloud is coming very quickly right overhead. It's very light, honestly, so I'm probably just going to keep my line about over here and then shoot. But we'll see if I get any on me tonight. I can feel the wind coming from behind now a bit, and oh gosh, you can see definitely some dark clouds. We've almost made it to our turn here. We'll be turning left and following the coast some more. There's a cute island here that this guy has all to himself. That's pretty awesome. But we're gonna keep at it. It's not ideal. Okay, I've now been paddling for 6 hours and 20 minutes, just short of 18 miles. I've been keeping an eye on the radar, and the rain itself is coming down just a little bit inland. It doesn't seem to want to pour over the Vänern itself, which is lovely. The wind died down quite a bit as I turned that corner there. So now I've got a straight heading this way. In about 1 kilometer, there's an area that looks nice for a camp spot, but I might just keep going until it's about to get dark at this rate. Trying to fucking make some progress, baby. Not sure if you heard that thunder, but it sounded like it came from that direction approximately. I still feel pretty solid out here on the water, but cause for concern still. I'm going full skirt now. It's cooling down quite a bit as the sun is setting and blocked by storm clouds in the background. We're heading this way still. Gonna keep after it. I like the look of the spot here, but it looked like there might be a couple nesting seagulls, and I wouldn't want to disturb them. She's tempting. It is now almost 8 o'clock. I've almost done 20 miles. I have probably 6 to 8 kilometers to where I originally intended to make it for today, but the way I've been following the coast a little more than the straight lines that I drew on the map has obviously meant it's like 40-kilometer day to get there. But I do still have like 2 hours of daylight, so I'm gonna keep going for now. I feel pretty good still. I believe we're gonna be headed in this direction. Yep. We're coming across some open water here. The wind is picking up a bit, coming at me now, but I'm keeping great pace anyhow, so we're going for it. The wind died down a bit as I started to be protected from that there. This definitely looks like a winner to me. I just need to see if I can find a decent spot to pull up. It's much nicer to tent or camp on the cliffs because then the wind comes through and it keeps the bugs away. And this area is notoriously buggy. Mosquitoes be getting me, bruh. I wonder. This feels promising. Just a tiny little cove. One rock to avoid. Oh, that was too deep, too shallow. Back up a bit. Come at it from a different angle. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm already up. Let's get this water out the skirt ahead of time, ideally. Shoes on. And we're up. Whew. Yep. Yep. Okay, big step, small steps. Okay. Ooh. Cuidado, Eric. You only got one life. Oh, she heavy. Alright, let's get this angle right. Oh yeah. She out the water. Whew. Whoo-wee. I've managed to make it. Sunset not too far behind. This is actually going to be a super good spot. Not very far at all from the kayak. There's a bit of grass and some privacy, but it's also not super wooded. And it's very narrow here, so it shouldn't get too buggy either because the wind flows through, and that's where I'm gonna put the tent. I don't see like obvious signs that people have been here, but there's some old foam there. I got real wet, now I'm shivering a little, so I'm gonna change into some dry clothes and get this tent set up. All right, nice and dry now. Got my regular clothes on. Just gonna grab the last of the things from the kayak here and bring them into the tent. I am so exhausted. I don't think I'm even gonna bother warming up my canned meal today. Just gonna slam calories and relax, get some sleep. Bought a cheap dome tent because I liked that it's easy to set up and it stands on its own. Ow, 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 ow! That was a biting ant. Lovely. Life goes on, of course. Got the sleeping pad and the sleeping bag. Most of my clothes in already. So let's finish up. Rocking the goulash soup today. Got some food in me. Unfortunately, I realized this tent is a little faulty, but I got some electrical tape, so I'll patch it up when I get the chance. I'm so exhausted, but it was a hugely successful first day. Despite getting started around noon, I made it 21 miles / 33 kilometers. Only 3 kilometers short of what I was intending as my distance for the day, but super stoked. Gotta get some rest. It's like 9:30 now. Sun hasn't set yet, so probably gonna need like an eye mask tonight, which is fine. I brought one. We'll see when I wake up.